Borders Czar Tom Homan says the Trump administration is opening the aperture to capture and deport every one of the estimated 14 million unauthorized immigrants, living and working here in the United States. And DHS is increasing its push for people without legal status to self-deport, sweetening the deal by offering money and fewer penalties for those who leave voluntarily, with an additional $250 million in funding rerouted from the State Department to help the effort. But for some immigrants, the decision to leave the U.S. was made months ago. And that is why, as some of the biggest ICE raids and protests took place in Los Angeles, TikToker Julie Ear says her mother left from Mexico after 35 years of working and paying taxes in the U.S., choosing to leave on her own terms, but leaving behind 3 children, 3 grandchildren, and the life she built for them.
She has no criminal record, a hardworking taxpayer who has been working 12-hour shifts since she was 15, 6 days out of the week. She never asked for a handout. She didn't get food stamps. She didn't get welfare. She didn't even ask for child support when my dad wasn't in the picture. She asked me to not cry, to let her go in peace, to take care of myself and not just trust all these new people I'm meeting. And I told her I'm protected, to not worry about me, and that I'm gonna go see her very soon. As the eldest sister, I stayed strong. I wanted to make sure that she knew that everything was gonna be okay. But this was the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Joining us now, Julie Ear, who posted the story of her mom's self-deportation on TikTok. Julie, welcome to you. I almost teared up watching that. Did you really not cry? I believe that was taken Saturday. Was that at the Tijuana airport?
I didn't. I didn't. I really stayed strong. But as soon as she turned the corner, I broke down. Even now, I still keep emotional.
How's she doing? Have you spoken to her?
She's doing better. She's doing good. I know it was a really long ride home, but she's happy with my grandma, and she's just getting accustomed to the culture out there.
Right, because your mother lived in the United States, presumably in the Los Angeles region where you are, for over 3 decades. First of all, how exactly did this whole self-deportation happen? I'm curious the steps that you take. You pick up, you leave the life that someone has built for themselves here. How did this happen?
She didn't want to talk to anybody. She didn't file any documents with the government or anything like that. She really didn't want to. She was scared to let anybody know, for anybody to come in and grab her or detain her. So she just chose to just buy her ticket and drive to Tijuana and just fly from there, knowing that. And we didn't want to share anything until she made it home, just for her safety. And we also didn't file for the $1,000. We're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna do that. Like anybody else, we're pretty scared.
Why wouldn't you do this? Would you not do that because you're afraid then of a tracing or something? Like your mom, Regina, would then be in the system?
Well, we were scared to think that maybe they were gonna come and deport her or put her in jail beforehand. So we all, like most of people out there, they think it's a trap. So she wanted to make sure that she was able to get there safe, and then whatever happens from now on, I guess it's up to God.
And you took her to Tijuana because she didn't need to have a passport at that point. She only needed to show an identification to travel, right? Okay. So just wanted to clear that up. So give me a sense. You said you're going to see her in your TikTok video. How often? How often are you going to travel to Mexico?
Right now, I'm mostly worried about getting the funds to get there. I'm hoping to go see her before the summer ends. I would love to see her as much as possible. I would love to spend the summer there or Christmas, but it all depends, financially, if I can do it.
Tell me about your mom's life here. What did she do? I mean, you mentioned in the video that she was a single mom after your dad left. She took care of you, your siblings. She's a grandmother of 3. How did she do it?
So she was a seamstress. She worked at a sewing factory. She worked pennies by the piece. So she wasn't paid hourly. She was pretty much so she was working in South Central and downtown. She would jump around between factories. That's pretty much how you have to kind of work when you're undocumented. At the end, she would do that plus a little bit of Uber Eats and DoorDash. She would even sell food. There was a point in the last recession where she was selling food out of her van. So, like many immigrants, where she did everything she could just to make ends meet.
Yeah. And she paid taxes. So let me ask you, on the heels of all this, what is your message to the Trump administration? What should they know about immigrants just like your mom?
That we're humans above all. Everybody is human beings. Their mothers, their fathers, their children. I just want to say that, it's about humanity. Yes, they're all hardworking, and they deserve to be here just like anybody else. But above all, they're humans. And I just wish that people would just see that and have more compassion and empathy for these parents. My mom, she's a grandma. And, what else can I say? Like, I just really hope that people can see it in their heart to really have, mercy for everybody that's really struggling out here, because everybody's scared out here in LA.
I bet. Julie Eyre, I'm so glad you've shared your story, and I sure hope you get to go see your mom soon, because I can't imagine. I adore my daughter. I'd hate it if I didn't have her pretty close by. Thank you so much. Safe travels.
Thank you so much for having me.